Hi there! Are you looking to not spend your entire life savings on your next grocery trip? Same.
We're going to be going through our grocery haul one meal at a time, starting with breakfast.
We decided to make some overnight oats with some fruit.
We bought bananas, strawberries, and soy milk. And we already had oats and some extra toppings on hand.
The best thing about overnight oats is that they're really simple to make. All you need to do is throw some oats in a container, pour some milk, put it in the fridge, and then add your toppings the next day. And if you ever get bored of the ingredients, most of them are pretty cheap and are easily interchangeable. Next up, we have lunch.
We bought ingredients for 2 different lunches, the first of which is pasta.
Oh, all I gotta buy is some pasta sauce, and don't judge us, but we bought some dinosaur-inspired pasta just because we're just feeling
Crazy.
Woo.
A little fun.
Yeah. To make it more interesting, we're just gonna use some ingredients we have around the house, some spices, maybe an extra onion, because pasta can be a little boring. Although it's boring, it is cheap, and it can feed a family of 2 or 1. For lunch number 2, we're doing a healthy-ish salad thing.
We bought broccoli, 2 zucchinis, pinto beans, quinoa, and then we also had some chickpeas at home that we wanted to use.
Originally, we were gonna use couscous, but apparently everyone's in a couscous craze because it was all sold out.
Who's number 46,853?
For a healthy-ish meal like this, you can switch out vegetables, you can switch out grains, and this probably won't last us a super long time, but overall the ingredients were pretty inexpensive, and every once in a while we try to get something healthy into our diet. We're also gonna make our own dressing. Dressing can be kind of expensive, so we're just going to use some olive oil and other stuff that we have. And now we are moving on to dinners, starting with a stir fry.
For the stir fry, we will include firm tofu, a green pepper, orange stir fry sauce, and snap peas because Sarah loves those, but I don't. I'm just kidding. I love you.
Again, this is a meal where you can use whatever base you want, but we had rice, which is super cheap. For budget dinners, I think stir fry is a really great option because tofu is pretty cheap, veggies are cheap, rice is cheap. Probably the most expensive thing was the sauce, and you could always make your own. Just make sure if you use tofu to drain your tofu beforehand so it gets nice and crispy.
The more you know. For dinner numero dos, we decided to go with a taco bowl because we've been on a taco bowl frenzy lately.
So this time we got
an onion, 2 green peppers,
3 avocados, a can of black beans, lentils, which we will use for the meat, a can of tomatoes and chilies, and taco sauce. We already have rice on hand, which we'll be using as the base, and we also had an extra can of corn that we will use as well.
Not only do they last you long, they are very filling, especially if you decide to splurge a little bit and get some mock meats. 3 things you look for in any meal are that it's cheap, filling, and delicious. And this Taco Bell, and this taco bowl definitely caters to all 3.
And our third and last meal for the week is biscuits and gravy.
Ooh. For the ingredients, we bought some Bisquick. The original version is accidentally vegan, so that's cool. So we're gonna use that to make the biscuits. For the meat substitute, we are using Boca crumbles. On hand, we already have some bouillon, so we're gonna use that to make the gravy. We also have a few potatoes just hanging around, so we're gonna use that, mash those up, and have a little mashed potatoes on the side.
Yeah, if you can't tell, this meal is going to be very heavy. It'll balance out the salad from earlier.
Yeah. Since going vegan, Sarah and I have not had biscuits and gravy. This is gonna be a fun little experiment.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram because we might post it.
Yeah.
And be like, yo, this is actually really cool, or it's actually we made it terribly wrong. And of course, any grocery haul needs some snacks.
All we got for snacks was popcorn kernels and some accidentally vegan cookies.
Which are completely gone.
Yeah.
All 2 pounds worth. So once we added all of the groceries up, you get a grand total of
$48.01.
see a little close-up cam of the
See, we're not lying.
receipt.
Can you see it? I don't know how to put my hand over it.
Where is it at? Total.
Here.
It's backwards. Or is it there? Is it blurry? Wait. Yeah. And look who decided to make an appearance. It's Amelia, our
Yay.
cat. That is it for all the groceries, but before you leave, we'd like to leave you with some tips that will help you out on your next grocery haul. Take it away, Sarah.
Whoa, where are you going? First tip is to plan out your groceries, especially if you're like us and when you're hungry you want to eat everything in sight. When you plan out your groceries, you can have an idea of what it's going to cost in the end, and you're also going to hopefully keep yourself from buying things that you don't need.
Tip number 2, make meals that will last long. Most of our meals here are long lasting, and that's with the 2 of us. Some of these meals can last us up to at least 3, sometimes 4 meals. If you're a family of 1, all that food goes to you.
Tip number 3, again, as you probably saw throughout this video, we actually are using quite a few ingredients that we already had in the house. So before you even think about going to get groceries, take a look and see what you already have and try to plan meals around those ingredients. Because if you're not buying them, then that will just save you money in the long run.
And for the final tip, try to avoid the mock meats and the cheeses because they can be a bit pricey. Opt for more fresh veggies and beans.
Yeah, you can definitely still make meals just as good without all of the more processed stuff. And honestly, we probably could have been a little bit cheaper. It all depends on if the store has sales, what store you shop at, things like that. But for us, $50 for 2 people is pretty good. That is all that we have for you today, and we will see you next week.